Chakshurunlitam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Govichandraya Radhikaya Tadaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Nayam Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupanam Rajarasrasikam Charanarayanam Tam Shri Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Kristhaya Bhutale Rupanam Bhaktidam Charanam Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sadashamadari Madhri Ganesh Tam Varam Varinyam Purusham Tam Narayanam Tam Shri Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Kumar Bhattananda Jai Rup Sanatan Bhattakana Shri Gopal Bhattasrana Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my Shastanga Danda pranams, the lotus feet of our spiritual masters. Laishno Bhaktivedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj Gurudev. Laishno Bhaktivedanta Shri Bhavan Goswami Maharaj Gurudev. Entire Rupanagari and all the Vaishnavas is present. So we're reading from Bhakti-tattva-viveka. Yesterday we stopped at Rupa Goswami's definition of Yukta Vairagya. So we see, especially in Mahaprabhu's movement, this term Yukta Vairagya is given so much importance. This term. Like we see when Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself, when he started preaching, he made use of this Yukta Vairagya. Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a district magistrate. He was a highly posted government official. So therefore he would go town to town, village to village, on his horse, or even on cycle, he would go, and he would preach everywhere. And he would induce people to chant the name of Krishna, to listen to Harikatha. He started this Namaharta program. At that time, all these things weren't even heard of. Going house to house, preaching, all these things. Because normally devotees, they were bhajananandis. They were staying in one place and they would do bhajan. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a Goshtyanandi. Goshtyanandi means he is also going and preaching here and there, everywhere. Ultimately, you see, a Goshtyanandi is also a Bhajananandi. And a Bhajananandi is also a Goshtyanandi. Like you see, Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he was a Bhajananandi. And at the same time, he was also a Goshtyanandi. How? His disciple Prabhupada, he preached all around the world. Everyone knows. Because of him, everyone knows who Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj is. Like we see, Lokanath Das Goswami, he was a Bhajananandi. But still, Narottam Thakur, he preached this mission everywhere. How? On the inspiration of his Guru. His Guru is inspiring. Because the disciple never acts independently. He acts only on the inspiration of his Guru, of his spiritual master. So it should be reconciled that they are both. Goshtyanandi is also Bhajananandi and Bhajananandi is also Goshtyanandi. Like Gurudev would give an example. He would give an example that if you see Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, no, he never left, he never took one step out of Navadvip, if you see. No, he never took one step. But still we see Swami Maharaj, he went everywhere preaching. So Gurudev would say, if you see any difference between the two, then it is like an offense. Sridhar Maharaj, he never even took one step out of Navadvip for the last 35 years of his life. After Prabhupada's disappearance, he stayed in Vrindavan for some time. He also stayed in Giriraj. And then he stayed in Navadvip. Because Param Gurudev, he arranged this land for him, where his temple is presently situated. And there, that Giriraj Shila that he used to worship in Govardhan, he also bought that Giriraj Shila. And he placed that Giriraj Shila there in Navadvip. In that lake, you see that lake, very beautiful temple. Jal Mandir, they call it. It's a huge lake, the temple. And he placed Giriraj there. Because Navadvip is non-different from Giriraj Govardhan. Of the 9 islands, 12 forests of Braj and the 9 islands. Govardhan is non-different from Giriraj. So he established Giriraj there. So one sees the difference between him and Swami Maharaj, and it's not so good now. Like you see, when Gurudev himself, before he went to the West preaching, he stayed like 40-50 years in Mathura. And then he went preaching. Even then Gurudev would say, I had no interest going to these countries. But because devotees were being stopped from entering inside temples, and because devotees are suffering so much, then I had to go. I heard so many crying hearts. He said, so many people are weeping so much. I had to go. Because Gurudev said, I'm coming to the West when I'm 75 years old. what need is there for me to travel to all these countries in my old age now, in 75? But still I have to go to help all these people. They would even ask Gurudev, like once one devotee, she asked Gurudev, of all the countries you went, which was the best country you went to? Best. Oh Maharaj, tell us the best country which you thought was it. And Gurudev said, I never even felt I was going from one country to another. Rather, I felt I was going from Dangali to Mangali, Mangali to Kunjagali, Kunjagali to Premgali, Premgali to Yamunagali. Means I'm going from one place of Braj to another place of Braj. I never felt I was going from one country to another. Because the pure devotee is always in Vrindavan now. Jaistan Vaishnav, Saistan Vrindavan, Saistan Ananda Shesh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said. Wherever the Vaishnava is, there is Vrindavan. So we see here also, this is like, and especially while preaching, like we see that this Yukta Vairagya is emphasized. Like we see once Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, before he was sent to the West, then Prabhupada, he arranged that some shoes be bought for him. So then Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, he bought him like a pair of expensive shoes. At that time, like very expensive. So Ban Maharaj, he wore those shoes. He refused to wear those shoes because he was saying, why should I wear such expensive shoes? For preaching, I can just wear some normal. Then Prabhupada said, no, you must even renounce renunciation for Mahaprabhu's seva, he said. Even this renunciation means even this adherence to the strict vows of renunciation, that sannyasis should not wear shoes, they should not wear this, that. Because according to the Sannyasa Upanishad in the scriptures, there are very strict rules for the sannyasis. Very, very strict rules. If you read about those rules, you'll fall unconscious on the ground. Very strict rules. Sannyasi at all times, he should never wear shoes, he should carry kamandala with him, and he should beg house to house, take little, and not from the same house, he should always go to a different house. And even among sannyasis, there are many categories. One is called Kutichaka. Kutichaka means he stays in one small hut made out of leaves. And then he stays in one village. Bahutaka means he goes from one village to another collecting. And there's Hansa, means he only accepts that which is favorable. And this Paramahamsa means even if he's in unfavorable conditions, still he will practice his Hari Bhajan. Therefore we see all our Guru Varga, they call Nitla Pravish, Om Vishnu Paramahamsa Hari Bhajan Acharya. Means like they're Paramahamsas. Wherever they are, they're transcendental. So if you read the Sannyasa Upanishad, you'll see so many rules and regulations. But Prabhupada especially, Bhaktisiddhanta, he revolutionized his preaching. Previously it was not even heard of the sannyasis would cross the ocean. It was not even heard of. Before Prabhupada had sent his disciples across the ocean, who had crossed the ocean? No one. Vivekananda had gone. He had gone to America in 1896, but he was a Mayavadi. He used to speak like very eccentric things. He would say, why are you reading Bhagavad Gita? Go play football. There's no reason. He'd say, why are you worshipping Tulsi? You worship eggplants. At least you can fry them and eat them very nicely. Mix nice masala, oil. Some way, he would say some very strange things. So he went, but it was not really preaching. But you see, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, he sent his preachers across the ocean. And we see also Prabhupada, when this English Viceroy General, when he came to visit Mayapur, then Prabhupada, he said, even if we have to, I'm ready to even like arrange meat for him, Prabhupada said. Even if I have to. Because if he gives his approval, then our preachers can go everywhere preaching without any instruction. Like in Swami Maharaj would tell Gurudev that if I'm in the West, if I have to, I'll open certain hostels. And then in that hostels, I'll even have like meat, eggs given out to all these people. Swami Maharaj said this to Gurudev. I'll even arrange for this meat and eggs to be given out. Because then gradually by eating meat and taking alcohol and eggs, but still if they're chanting Krishna Nam, they will change. And then they'll give up all these things. See how merciful they are. Once one person, he was a drunkard. He was very addicted to drinking. So he told Swami Maharaj, oh, I'm very much addicted to drinking. What can I do? I cannot give it up. Then Swami Maharaj said, all right, even if you're drinking, You drink that wine and you think this wine is Krishna. The taste of this wine is Krishna, and you drink that. Means you offer that wine to Krishna also, he said, and you drink it. He said, they're so merciful. Anyhow, by hook or crook, they wanted to engage everyone in Krishna's seva. Because they know that ultimately when the jiva becomes purified more and more, and the jiva ultimately give up all those habits. Like once Param Gurudev, he was preaching in one village of Bengal. There was a very rich landlord, zamindar, a very wealthy person. So he used to help a lot in Param Gurudev's preaching. So Param Gurudev, he visited Param Gurudev and he said, "Oh, I want to be initiated. Can you give me initiation?" So Param Gurudev said, "All right." Then the landlord, he said, "But I have one bad habit. I like smoking hookah very much. You know hookah, no? Hookah is that pipe. I don't know how it works, you know. They put some tobacco inside. I don't know how that works. They put some tobacco inside, what do? They smoke it. And they put something. So then he said, "I like this smoking hookah." So Param Gurudev said, "All right, no problem." Then Param Gurudev said, "Bring that hookah." And then he brought that hookah. And he said, "Now keep it in front of you." He said, "All right." Then Param Gurudev said, "All right, now for one last time, you smoke this hookah as much as you want." He said, "One last time, and then I'll give you diksha." And that person, he was so ashamed. He said, "Oh, I cannot even give up this insignificant habit, then how can I accept diksha?" And then he said, "No." Then he broke it, and he threw it away. He said, "I never even smoke." So this way you say that the Guru Varga are always encouraging one. Even if one commits any mistakes, or even if he cannot properly follow, still the Guru Varga are always encouraging. So somehow change. Gurudev would say, if you fall down 1,000 times, you stand up 1,000 times. Always be strong, never be hopeless. Gurudev said, why should you be hopeless in this line? This line is the most wonderful line of Krishna Bhakti. Always have hope. Somehow or other I'll achieve pure Bhakti. If one doesn't have hope, he's always hopeless, then how can he advance? So in this way we say, Rupa Goswami has said, Ruchim utvahatas tatra janasya bhajane hare Vishayesu karishtopi raga prayo viliyate Anasaktasya vishayan yataham upayunjata Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha Yukta Vairagya Mukhyate Prapanchika Taya Buddhaya Hari Sambandhi Vastuna Umukshavi Parityago Vairagyam Falgo Katyate. So when a living entity develops a taste for Krishna Bhajan, at that time his excessive attachment for the objects of the senses starts gradually fading. Then with the spirit of detachment, he accepts the objects of the senses only according to his needs, knowing those objects to be related to Krishna and behaving accordingly. This is called Yukta Vairagya. Because normally we see the other sannyasis from the other sampradayas, they reject everything of this world. Like once I met one sannyasi from the Sri Sampradaya, Maharaj.Bhakti-tattva-viveka sannyasi, very bona fide. So he was initiating one person. So in the Sri Sampradaya, how do they initiate one person? They take one leg. I don't know what you call it. There's one metal object which bears the sign of Shankha Chakra Gadam. What do you call that? And they heat it in the fire and they stab. Branding. So what do you call that thing which you use? Brand. So the metal brand. Okay. So similarly here also this sannyasi from the Maharaj.Bhakti Sampradaya, I also saw him. He lit that whole thing, he heated that thing in fire and he put it in the arms of that person. Like one of my friends put it there and he branded him with the Shankha Chakra. Because the Maharaj.Bhakti Sampradaya, this is how they give initiation. Then that mark you have on your arms, it is forever. It never goes away. Means whenever you look at it, you should be reminded, I am initiated. So branded. So then when we gave him some money after the whole ceremony, he refused to even touch that money. He said, no, I'm sannyasi. He refused to touch that money. He said, no. And then I think maybe he had some sevaks or something. Maybe they took that money. Because in the Sannyasa Upanishad it is said that a sannyasi should not even touch money. It is said. But you see, Prabhupada, how he started this preaching. Prabhupada would even travel in cars, Bhaktivedanta. This was in the 1920s. 1920s, 1930s, you could have never imagined a sannyasi sitting in a car. Cars had just been invented, so he would be traveling in cars. And he'd even be wearing, like sometimes, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada would even be wearing watches sometimes. Once one disciple even told Prabhupada, oh Prabhupada, how can you wear a watch? Prabhupada chastised him. Everything should be used for Krishna's seva. What? Everything, this is Bhagavan's creation. Why should it not be used for Krishna's seva? Like once one reporter, this lady, she asked Swami Maharaj, why do you travel in Rolls Royce, all these cars? And what did he say? He said, I am Krishna's servant. If Krishna is so rich, then why can't his servant also be as rich as him? If Krishna has so many conveniences, the servant can also travel in so many conveniences. So where is the harm? So everything is used for Krishna's seva. Because he is Lakshmipati. He is the husband of the goddess of fortune. And the servants are also using everything in his seva. So this not many people can reconcile. But also we must be careful to not misuse this principle. Not that anything we do is Yukta Vairagya. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, it's Yukta Vairagya. Oh, I'm traveling in a very expensive car, Mercedes-Benz or BMW. That is Yukta Vairagya. Also I have this, that. No? Because sometimes people will even say many things. They will say many things. So you must be very careful. So renunciation of those, this is called Yukta Vairagya. So the renunciation of those who desiring liberation from matter, reject the objects of the senses, considering them to be illusory, is called Falgu, useless. So there's Falgu Vairagya. What is Falgu Vairagya? They reject everything. But in their heart they have so many desires. In their heart. No? Like I was just speaking about that example. In Bihar, there is one river called the Falgu river. Now this river is always dry. It looks dry, but if you keep your hand inside, then you'll see there's a big flow of water. Similarly, you see the Brahmavadi sannyasis also, Mayavadis. They say everything is false in this world, but then they end up opening so many colleges, universities, hospitals. If the whole world is false, then what need is there to engage in any philanthropic work? What need is there if the whole world is false? But they do so. So that kind of renunciation is called Falgu Vairagya. So it is not possible for an embodied soul to completely renounce the objects of the senses, but changing the enjoying tendency towards them while maintaining an understanding of their relationship to Krishna cannot be called sense gratification. So see what Bhaktivedanta Thakur is saying. He's saying the conditioned jiva is so much accustomed to enjoying the objects of the senses. He's so much accustomed. So how can you change that tendency? You cannot artificially root it out. You have to only direct it in the proper direction. Like we say, when Swami Maharaj went to the West, he engaged everyone in service. He even made women pujaris. In many of his temples, ladies were pujaris, even now the pujaris. And he made a temple out of gold, like in this place, this new Vrindavan. There he made a temple out of gold. It means the dome of the temple was made out of gold. Something like that, no? Gold leaf. The same thing, no? Maybe as gold. But see, everything he engaged in the service of Krishna. So these things were unheard of. So you just have to alter that tendency, change it. Like we say, so many disciples of Swami Maharaj, they were grihasthas, they were householders. He told husband and he told man and woman that you live as householders if you cannot follow this vow of celibacy. And then if you cannot do so, then it is not good, so be householders. So this way he engaged everything. Our Guru Varga are always like this. So it is not possible for an embodied soul to completely renounce the objects of the senses, but he should change that enjoying tendency. He should change it. So form, taste, smell, touch and sound, they are the objects of the senses. We should try to perceive the world in such a way that everything appears related to Krishna. Meaning that we should see all living entities as servants and maidservants of Krishna. So see here, you should always think of all the jivas as part and parcel of Krishna. Don't think of any jiva as meant for your own enjoyment, for your exploitation, or as an object of your envy, or hate, violence. No. Think of every jiva as a part and parcel of Krishna. This is Dinada Visunichena, this mood. See gardens and rivers as pleasurable sporting places for Krishna. As Uddipan for the pure devotee. You look at any river, any mountain, you think of this Yamuna or Giriraj. Like even when Gurudev was in Canada, he went to this place, the Sharanagati. There are some rivers there, Fraser River, Fraser. And in Sarikatha I heard. In Hindi he was saying, I saw this Fraser River. He said, but he said, when I looked at this river, I was only reminded of the Yamuna, he said. And even in that place, many mountains in Sharanagati. So many mountains there also, so I'm only thinking about Giriraj. This is like the vision of a Bhakta, Shuddha Bhakta. Anything he sees only reminds him of Krishna. Like we see Haridas Thakur, he saw that snake charmer. He was playing on his instrument and the snake was dancing. And immediately he was reminded of this Leela, of Krishna dancing on Kanya, and he fell on the ground unconscious. Like we see Mukunda, the father of Raghunandan Thakur, someone was fanning the king with a peacock fan, peacock feathered fan. And when he saw this peacock feathered fan, he also fell on the ground unconscious. Because this gave so much of deeper for him. So anything that you see in this world should be used in Krishna's seva. See that all types of eatables are to be used as an offering for his pleasure. In all types of aromas, perceive the aroma of Krishna Prasad. In the same way, see that all types of flavors are to be relished by Krishna. See that all the elements we touch are related to Krishna. And here only narrations describing the activities of Krishna. So this way when you engage all your senses in Krishna's seva, then where is the chance for the senses to engage in gratification, enjoyment? If your eyes are only looking at the dainty form of Krishna, if your ears are only listening to Kirtan, Harikatha, if your nose is only smelling this chandan, this incense offered to Krishna, if your tongue is always tasting this Mahaprasad, then where is the opportunity for any of these senses to go in the wrong direction? Because we are marginal jivas, we are tathastha jivas. We can either go right or we can go left. We can either do good or do bad. We cannot be neutral. This is not our dharma. So therefore, rather than engaging all these senses and exploiting the material world, engage them in Krishna's seva. This is the best kind of engagement for the senses. So when a devotee develops such an attitude, then he will no longer see the objects of the senses as being separate from Bhagavan himself. The tendency to enjoy the happiness obtained from sense gratification intensifies the desire for bhakti within the heart of a devotee and ultimately deviates him from the path of bhakti. So if a devotee is always enjoying, then what will happen eventually? Eventually he'll give up the path of bhakti and he'll go in the wrong direction, material enjoyment. On the other hand, by accepting all the objects of this world as instruments to be employed in Krishna's service, the desire for bhakti is completely eradicated from the heart, thus allowing unalloyed devotion, pure bhakti to manifest there. So when you engage everything in Krishna's seva, then there is no scope for this move of material enjoyment to arise in one's heart. Means, in other words, pure bhakti will arise within his heart. He will be a Shuddha Bhakta. As it is imperative to abandon the desire for bhakti, it is equally important to give up the desire for mukti. Mukti means material enjoyment. What is mukti? Liberation. A pure devotee does not even care for liberation. There are some very deep principles and conceptions regarding mukti. There are 5 kinds of mukti. Salokya mukti means residing in the same abode of Bhagavan. To obtain opulence equal to that of Bhagavan is called sarsti. To attain a position in proximity to Bhagavan is called samipya mukti. It means to stay near Bhagavan. And to achieve a four-handed form like that of Bhagavan is called Sarupya, means to have the same rupa as him. This Sayuja Mukti is of two kinds. So what is Sayuja? Means to merge into Bhagavan. So this is also of two kinds. Remember this. There's Brahma Sayuja and Ishwar Sayuja. The cultivation of Brahma Gyan, impersonal knowledge, leads one to Brahma Sayuja, means one will merge into the effulgence of Krishna. And then there is Brahma Sayuja. So there is Ishwar Sayuja. Ishwar Sayuja means by following Patanjali Yoga, one merges into the Lord's form. So this is very dangerous. This is irreversible. The other kind of liberation is reversible. Means if you follow this Brahma Sayuja, there is chance of achieving pure bhakti. But if you follow this Ishwar Sayuja, then there is no coming back. Once you merge into Bhagavan's form, gone. No way of coming back. Because the very Swarup is like destroyed. So for devotees, both these types of liberation are worthy of rejection. Those who desire to attain Sayuja may also follow the process of bhakti, but their devotion is very artificial. They don't accept bhakti as an eternal occupation, and they merely consider it to be a means to attain Brahma. So sometimes you see even like those following Shankaracharya's philosophy, they are also practicing bhakti. But why? What is their intention? Their intention is not to achieve pure bhakti. Their intention is only to become one with the effulgence of Krishna. So even theirs is like not proper. Their conception is that after attaining Brahman, then bhakti does not exist. Therefore, the bhakti of a sincere devotee deteriorates in the association of such spiritualists. So always be far away from such people. Their association is most detrimental. At least, you see, if you are in the association of lusty people, they should also be avoided. But their association is not as bad as that of the Mayavadis. Because people are very lusty, greedy, angry, anyhow, like, they will change. But these Mayavadis are also dangerous. What will they do? They will also give you that same desire, becoming one with Brahman. They will say, oh, why are you practicing bhakti? Why are you doing this? Just leave everything. You cultivate Brahmavad, Advaitavad. So Gurudev would say that their association is like a tiger. A tiger can swallow you, can devour you. Similarly, their association is also like that. If you're not careful, then you can be devoured by that. So if you see any such Mayavadi and he wants to associate with you, Gurudev would say that just offer pranams from a distance. Offer Dandat pranams and say, Prabhu, may I take leave and run away from that place. Or else he may even infect you with that desire. So unalloyed devotion never resides in the hearts of those who consider Sayuja Mukti to be the ultimate perfection. So those who are thinking becoming one, then how can they be pure bhaktas? Never. So the four types of liberation, Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya and Sashti, they are not opposed to bhakti. The devotees may accept them if they so desire. But Sayuja Mukti is completely fit to be rejected. Never in any condition except Sayuja Mukti. And according to a difference in a particular devotee's eligibility to receive them, these four types of liberation assume two forms. Swasukha Aishwarya Pradhankari and Prem Seva Pradhankari. So you see, even this liberation in Vaikuntha is of two kinds. Swasukha Aishwarya Pradhankari and Prem Seva Pradhankari. So what is Swasukha Aishwarya Pradhankari? It bestows transcendental happiness and opulence, while Prem Seva gives transcendental loving service unto Bhagavan. So those who reach the Vaikuntha planets through these four types of liberation, they obtain the fruit of transcendental happiness and opulence. The servants of the Lord, they never accept such liberation under any circumstance. But the Premi Bhaktas never accept any one of the five varieties of mukti. So see, the Premi Bhakta, he only wants to selflessly serve Krishna. He has no selfishness in his heart. Even if Bhagavan gives these kinds of liberations, like Sashti, Samipya, Salokya, Sarupya, he will never accept. He will say, Prabhu, I only want to serve you. I don't wish anything else. Therefore, within pure unalloyed devotees, the desire for liberation does not exist. To remain free from the desires for liberation and sense gratification is Anyabhilashita Shunya. This is the Tatashta Lakshana of Bhakti. To remain uncovered by tendencies such as those for Gyan and Karma is another marginal characteristic of Bhakti. In the phrase Jnana Karmadi, Adi means what? Etc. Means Jnana, Karma and etc. Means other things as well. What is that? Like try renunciation, Sankhya Yoga. What is Sankhya Yoga? Means counting all the elements of this world and doing an analytical study of this world. This is called Sankhya Yoga. So all these things are also fit to be rejected. It has already been mentioned that the favorable cultivation of activities to please Krishna is called Bhakti. Krishna is transcendental and Bhakti is also transcendental. And the living entity is also transcendental. No? So when a living entity is situated in its pure state, only then does the intrinsic attribute of Bhakti act. So now we are all basically following the Tathastha Lakshana of Bhakti. Means we are following the marginal characteristics. Means what? Now we are only avoiding those things which are unfavorable for Bhakti. Means we are avoiding all kinds of bad karma, impersonal knowledge, all these things. Like we see, before anyone becomes a devotee, then these rules are mentioned. Don't eat meat, don't drink wine, don't have illicit sex with anyone, don't gamble, don't smoke. So now it is more of things which are unfavorable. Now we are in that stage where we'll have to avoid those things which are unfavorable. But when one gradually comes to the stage of Bhava Bhakti, then when he's in the stage of Bhav, then he'll fully engage in the Sarup Lakshana of Bhakti. Means the intrinsic cultivation of Bhakti. And what is that? Anukulena Krishna Anushilana. Means he will only engage in one point in loving devotion on the lotus feet of Krishna. That is when gradually comes to the stage of Ruchi, Ashakti. Beginning from the stage of Ruchi, this Anukulena Krishna Anushilana starts. Only from the stage of Ruchi. In Nishtha there is some semblance, but in Ruchi automatically one has taste. One has so much taste. And even Ruchi is of two kinds. One is called Vastu Apekshani Ruchi and Vastu Anapekshani Ruchi. What is Vastu Apekshani Ruchi? If you see Thakurji, he is dressed very nicely, if the temple is very opulent, very grand, then you feel like going to the temple. No, look at the temple. It's so nicely decorated. Look at Thakurji. He's wearing such nice clothes. Oh, look at the lighting. Oh, look at the kirtan. The devotee has such a nice voice. And he's doing kirtan, so many different raga naginis. So then one is very much attracted to going to that temple. This is called Vastu Apekshani Ruchi. And what is Vastu Anapekshani? Means he does not care. Even if Thakurji is not dressed properly, even if the person doing kirtan, even if his voice is not so sweet, he has a very rough voice, still he will become absorbed in his bhav. Like you see, Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, he'd have his Gauranitai deities, he would not even dress them sometimes. And even if he would dress them, sometimes their clothes would be torn. But does that mean he does not have any seva? Any tendency for prem seva? No, he's a highest Uttam Mahabharata. Like we see sometimes if there's nice kirtan going on, nice instruments, and like many people are there dancing, Especially when ladies are dancing, people become very attracted to kirtan. This is the best way for them to attract kirtan. Put some ladies there, and they're dancing. All of them, and they become very attracted. But on the other hand, you see one person, he does not have a proper voice, he's sitting in one place. He is not even playing any instruments, he's only sitting and he's weeping. He's singing all these kirtans. Gurudev, Kripavindodhiya, Kuraitas. Oh Gurudev, when will you give me a drop of your mercy? He's weeping and he's singing. So then one may think, oh, I don't want to be there, I want to be there. And the other kirtan is going on. But one who has this Vastu Anapekshani Ruchi, he'll stay there. Because he'll see that kind of kirtan is more advanced than this kind of kirtan. Because what is kirtan? Kirtan means there should be that bhav. If there is no bhav, then where is the kirtan there? And it is only a musical performance. For one's own enjoyment, one is singing. But there should be bhav. Inside his heart, he should be singing. Gurudev would say, your heart should sing. Not that only you're singing, your mouth is singing, your tongue. No. Your heart should sing as well. Like Gurudev, he'd have some devotees explain all these kirtans. Like yesterday I was listening to one room conversation. Gurudev, he was telling one devotee, you explain this kirtan, Gurudev Kripavindodhiya. So he was saying, oh, I'm fallen and this, that. He was repeating the words of Bhaktivedanta. Gurudev said, not just repeating will do. You'll have to realize these moods within yourself as well. Only repeating lip service will not do. You'll have to do more sadhana bhajan and realize these moods. And then you'll have to speak your own realization. Or else only you're singing, but your heart is not singing. It means you're not imbibing these moods. Then you may go on singing for lakhs and lakhs of years. And will it give any benefit, any fruit? So try imbibing these moods. Try weeping within your heart. Oh, when can I have these moods in my heart? When, oh when? Like he said. So in this way, here we must even reject all these processes of Sankhya Yoga and even occupational duties corresponding to one's caste or creed, like even Varnashram Dharma. It has already been mentioned that the favorable cultivation of activities to please Krishna is called Bhakti. The living entity is transcendental, Krishna is transcendental, and Bhakti-Vritti is transcendental. At that time, there is no opportunity for the marginal characteristics of Bhakti to act. So when the devotee is situated in his Swarup, and he is practicing Swarup Siddha Bhakti, at that time there is no need for him to even focus on Jnana Karma Adi Anavrita. There is no need for him to keep thinking, oh, I'll have to give up this, I'll have to give up that. Why? Now he is fully absorbed in practicing the limbs of Bhakti. So where is the time for him to engage in Jnana and Karma? He has no time for it. Because 24 hours a day he is only engaged in this. So this is Bhakti. Bhakti means the positive, not the negative. When you focus on the positive, then the negative will automatically be avoided. There's no need to focus so much on the negative. No? Like sometimes one devotee, they would ask, oh Gurudev, I'm so scared of committing Vaishnava Aparad. And Gurudev is saying, why are you always thinking about Vaishnava Aparad? If you keep thinking about Vaishnava Aparad, then eventually you will commit Vaishnava Aparad. You focus more on your chanting, kirtan, shravan, listening to Harikatha, on your services. If you focus more on this, then where will you even have the time to engage in Vaishnava Aparad? So don't keep thinking about it. He said it's good. Yes, you're thinking you want to avoid Vaishnava Aparad. This is very good. But not that you keep thinking about it 24 hours a day. Oh, Vaishnava Aparad, Vaishnava Aparad. No. Focus on the good thing. Automatically you'll bypass Vaishnava Aparad then. So when the living entity is conditioned and situated in the material world, along with his constitutional identities, Swarupa, two more marginal identities are present, the gross and subtle body. Through the medium of these, the living entity endeavors to fulfill his various desires. So you see here, through the gross body and the subtle body, that is the mind, intelligence and false ego, the jiva is acting through. Because the jiva is spiritual, he is like chip, he is a spark of consciousness. So how can he possibly, in his pure form, interact with the material world? This is impossible. It is an incompatible situation. Because Maya Shakti is Krishna's inferior potency. And the jivas, they belong to Krishna's superior potency. So how can the jiva in his self-same form enjoy the material world? He cannot. He can only enjoy it through the body, through the mind. But still, you see, Bhakti is such a wonderful process that even the body and mind, they become spiritualized. Like if you place some iron inside the fire, what will happen? Even the iron will get the qualities of the fire. This is called tadatmik. Similarly also, sevan mukhahi swayameva spuratyada. For the jiva who is always engaged in Krishna seva, then what happens? The holy name will manifest on his tongue. So one may say, how is this possible? The holy name is completely spiritual. No, chit follows swarupa. Then how is it that this chit swarup will manifest on the tongue, which is material? Because of this tadatmika. Means because of this seven vritti, because of this tendency to serve, the senses of the body and the mind, they become completely transcendental, spiritual, and the jiva and the holy name manifest there on the tongue, in his heart. So, in the transcendental world, this type of identification is not required. So, in the spiritual world, where is the question of jnana karma dhyana vrita? If you tell any Brajavasi, oh, don't cover your bhakti by karma or jnana, then he will say, what are you saying? They are Brajavasis, they are only absorbed in serving Krishna. Where do they even have the time for all these things? So after becoming entangled in the ocean of material existence, the living entity becomes absorbed in various types of activities and he forgets Krishna. Within the jiva, suffering from the severe miseries caused by this desire, arises a desire to be delivered from the ocean of material existence. So when the jiva is suffering so much, at one point of his life he will think, surely, certainly, oh, why am I suffering? Every person in his life, he will always be inquisitive to know who God is. He will think, why am I in this world? Any person, be he a Hindu, Jew, Christian, Muslim, from any religion, Buddhist, he will always have this thought in his heart. Who is God? Why am I here? Why am I suffering here? What need is there for me to suffer here? He will always have this desire. So this very desire is the seed of bhakti. Who is God? And then by that desire, he'll have the proper association of devotees, and by associating with devotees, the seed of bhakti will be sown in his heart. At that time, within his mind, he condemns himself. Alas, how unfortunate I am. Having fallen into this insurmountable ocean of sansar, I am thrown here and there by the waves of my wicked desires. So he's thinking, oh, unfortunate I am. All my desires, they're like waves in the ocean. They're always trying to drown me, these desires. These waves, they rise higher and higher. Very towering waves. Like we say, the largest recorded wave is, how high? 200 feet? The largest recorded wave? Maybe 150, 200 feet. Who knows? Like in tsunami especially, you see huge waves arise. But still you see, the desires we have in our hearts, they're even larger than these waves. They're even more dangerous than these waves. These waves in the ocean, they may only kill us. But these waves of material desires, they may like, life after life, they're killing us. So the jiva is thinking, why are these waves of material enjoyment overcoming me? I'm being thrown here and there. At different times, I'm being attacked by the crocodiles of lust, anger. So all these dangerous creatures are present in the ocean. They're always trying to swallow me. No, fully. I cry helplessly in my miserable condition, but I don't see any hope. So the jiva is saying, I'm crying everywhere. There I'm becoming hopeless. Where can I find shelter? What should I do? Do I not have any well-wisher? Is there any possible way I can be rescued? Alas, what to do? How will I be delivered? I don't see any solution. Alas, alas, I'm most unfortunate. Jiva is thinking, who can help me? I'm dying a slow death. In such a state, he becomes exhausted and then he becomes silent. And he says, oh God, only you can help me. No one else. No. Like in English, there is one saying, there are no atheists in a foxhole. There's a saying, no? There are no atheists in a foxhole. You know the meaning of that? It means when the soldiers are fighting the war, there's always a bunker. You know what a bunker is? It's called a foxhole. So sometimes when people are attacking, they go hide there in that bunker, in that foxhole. So even the soldiers, even if he's an atheist, if he's in that bunker, if he sees he's going to be killed, he also prays to God. Oh God, please forgive me. I never believed in you all these years. At least now you save me today. Means even at the stage of death, then when he's dying, he's bound to call out to God. Even if he's an atheist, he can reject God his entire life. But at one point of his life, he will also surrender to God. Because how can you deny the existence of God? No, you can never deny his existence. Because our relationship with him is inherently present within us. It's within our soul. So how can you deny something which is a dharma? No. Like you see, what is the dharma of water? The dharma of water is to flow. Liquidity is the dharma of water. No? In Hindi it's called taralata. And when the water transforms into ice, then this transformation into ice is something which is temporary. This is called as naisargik dharma. Means it's called the temporary state. But what is the nitya dharma of water? It's always to flow. So if you take this ice and you keep it in the sun, the ice will melt and the water will start flowing. This is the dharma of the water. What is the dharma of fire? The dharma of fire is to give heat and light. No, and fire is like burning. When you put your hand, it will burn your finger, you get a blister. And it also gives you light. So the dharma of the jiva is to serve Krishna. Dharma means what? Means it is the very aspect of the existence of every living entity. No? So how can you deny this service? Therefore even the most wicked atheist, he will also within his heart pray to God, please protect me. So seeing the jiva in this most fallen condition, helpless condition, the most compassionate Sri Krishna then mercifully implants the seed of this Bhakti Lata beach within his heart. This seed is known as Shraddha, and it contains within it the manifestation of Bhav, the first sprout of divine love for Bhagavan. So you see, Bhav is present within the seed. Now here you must be careful. Don't think that you don't have the seed within your heart, that you're receiving it from somewhere else. Don't think like this. You must be careful in this understanding. Because we see that sometimes we plant the same seeds in the ground, but different trees are like emerged from these seeds. Like if you place one seed, then a mango tree is born from that seed. And from another seed, neem tree appears. And they're sown in the same place. And the same water is showered upon them. The same fertilizers are used. The same sunlight falls on them. But still you see different trees come from different seeds. So don't think that the seed is to be had from somewhere else. The seed is already there within our hearts. Because there's that verse in Chaitanya which says, Brahmanda Pramite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Sadhi Pai Bhaktivedanta Beach. That is, Bhaktivedanta Beach is received from Guru and Krishna. So does that mean that we don't have any such seed in our heart? It is already there. But what are Guru and Vaishnavas doing? They are uncovering that potency of the seed. Now the potency of the seed is covered. And what do? They uncover it. Nitya Siddha Kabu Krishna Sadhya Kabu Noi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Kavayudai. This prema is already Nitya Siddha, is present within our hearts. But when listening to Shravan and Kirtan, we're engaging in that. And Shuddha Chitte Kavayudai. Then this pure form of consciousness gradually manifests, is uncovered. So here Krishna, what does he do? He arranges for that process. He initiates that process. So nourishment, the water of devotional activities, like by Shravan and Kirtan, that seedling first sprouts, then grows leaves, and then finally flowers, as it assumes the full form of a creeper. When in the end good fortune dawns upon the living entity, the creeper of devotion bears the fruit of prema. So you see, the seed can grow so much that ultimately it will go to Golok Vrindavan, and there the sadhak can relish the fruits of prema. The sadhak is like the gardener, and what is the duty of a gardener? He should look after that seed, water it nicely, make sure that no other living entity comes and tries uprooting that seed. He makes a nice fence, porkota. He makes a nice fence around that seed. What is that nice fence? Means his sadhana, his bhajan, his tattva siddhanta, his realization. He protects that seed from all four sides. He makes sure no dangerous animal can come. He makes sure no weeds. What are those weeds that grow alongside the seed? They are separate desires. Desires separate from serving Krishna. And what do these weeds do? If these weeds grow, then they will suck out that water, which is meant for the seed. And the seed will become dry. The creeper will dry. And all the other weeds, they will flourish. And also sometimes you see, when this creeper is growing, sometimes you should trim some leaves. Like what is the meaning of trimming? It means you cut some leaves. You cut some extra branches. What are that? What are those extra leaves and branches? They are desires for other rasas. Means one may desire to serve Krishna, neither Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya. So we should also be rid of those desires. One should be one-pointed. If one really thinks of himself as a maid servant to Srimati Radhika, then that should be his goal. And anyhow, I only want to achieve this Radha Dasya. You should make sure that even the desires to serve Krishna and other rasas will not appear within him. Because Madhurya Ras is Adi Ras. Adi Ras means what? Means Madhurya Ras has all the qualities of the other rasas. No, it has all the qualities. Like you see, earth has the qualities of all the other elements. No. What is the quality of ether? The quality of ether is sound. The quality of air is touch. So air has the quality of ether, sound and touch as well. And what is the quality of fire? Fire has the quality of form. You can see fire. So fire has the qualities of both the previous elements. It has the quality of ether, sound. It also has the quality of air, touch. If you touch fire, you will feel the rebirth. And you see water. Water has the qualities of all the previous three elements. It has the quality of sound, touch, form. And it has another special quality. What is that? Taste. When you drink water, you feel your thirst is quenched. So it has the quality of taste. And what is the quality of earth? Smell. You can smell earth. So similarly, earth has the qualities of all the previous four elements. Sound, touch, form, taste, and earth has its own quality, fragrance. So similarly, this Madhurya Bhav has all the qualities of previous rasas. What is the quality of Shantaras? It is Nishtha. Means one has firm faith in his Prabhu. You see Prahlad. When Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill him, he asked Prahlad, where is your God? And Prahlad said, my God is everywhere. This is Nishtha. And Hiranyakashipu took his club. He said, is he in this pillar? And he said, yes, it's also there, I can see him. Hit that club and then it broke. So this is Nishtha and Shantabhav. And then what is the quality of Dasaras? There is Nishtha and also Mamata. Mamata means this sense of blindness, possessiveness. Sometimes the servant thinks, oh, Krishna is thirsty, I'll give him a glass of water, let him drink. Oh, he's hungry, I'll give him some food. So you see, in Dasaras there is Nishtha and Mamata. And what is the quality of Sakyaras? The quality of Sakyaras is what? Is Vishramba, intimacy. The Sakas, they take Krishna on their shoulders. Krishna takes the Sakas on their shoulders. They're pushing each other to the ground. They're pushing each other, they're wrestling with each other, they're giving each other their remnants. This is Vishramba, intimacy. This is not found in Dasaras. So Sakyaras has the qualities of the previous two rasas along with its own quality, Vishramba. And what is the quality of Vatsalya Bhava? Lalam, Poshanam, Dalam means the Sakas will not twist Krishna's ear. They will not say, oh Krishna, have you eaten or not? But Mother Yashoda, she will twist Krishna's ear. She will say, you're a very naughty boy. You're always stealing from the homes of all the gopis and gopas. You have no sense. If you grow big, then who will marry their daughter to you? No one will even marry their daughter to you. Who will want to marry a thief like you? She is always chastising and twisting his ears. And sometimes you see Krishna is wearing very dirty clothes. And Mother Yashoda says, hey, in the morning I bathed you and I put such nice clothes for you, and like a pig, you went and you're rolling in the ground again. You have no sense. She may even give him a slap. So who can do that in Sakyaras? So there is a special quality in Vatsalya. And then there is another special quality in Shringar, along with all the other qualities of the previous rasas. And what is the special quality in Shringar ras? It is called Nijanga Seva. Means the gopis can serve Krishna with their entire bodies. This no other person can do. Now the Saras, now Mother Yashoda, now the Saras, now only the gopis can do so. So therefore, Mother Ras is called Adi Ras. Means it has the qualities of all the different rasas. It has all their qualities. So therefore, in this way, the Jiva can achieve that Madhurya Bhav also. And in order to achieve that Madhurya Bhav, sometimes he may even have to bypass the other rasas. But not that he rejects them. You must be very careful. You must not say, oh, Sakyaras is useless, Vatsalya Ras is useless, only Madhurya Bhav is topmost. This is very bad. You must not reject. Rather, you must offer your pranamas. Gurudev will say, you must fold your hands. And if Krishna will appear before you and say, oh, I want to make you my Sakha, you must fold your hands and say, no. No, Prabhu, I don't wish. And he said, oh, I want to make you my mother or father. And the sadhak will say, no, fold his hands. Kindly give me that position. What is that? Maid servant of Srimati Radhika. Just write my name there in the registry of Srimati Radhika. That you are the Anjali in Srimati Radhika. Then Krishna will be so happy to do that. He'll say, oh, now I feel so happy to give you this benediction. And he himself will write your name there. Means he himself will recommend you to Srimati Radhika. To kindly accept this Jiva as a maid servant. And this is the highest position that a Jiva can attain. The maid servant of Srimati Radhika. There is no higher position than this. This is the highest position. There is no position in this world, in all of creation, in all of the spiritual world, greater than being the maid servant of Srimati Radhika. So now this chance is being given to all the jivas of this world. This is Mahaprabhu's unlimited compassion. So now it is in our hands. If we wish to, we can make use of this chance. Or if we wish to, then we can lose this chance. And if we may lose it, then who knows? After how many more births we can get this chance again. After millions of births, millions, who knows? So there's one life we've gotten this chance. No. Like let's say a person is thrown inside the ocean and he sees nothing around him and he's trying to swim, he's trying to stay afloat, but he's losing all his energy and he's drowning. But then all of a sudden, he sees a log of wood floating in the ocean. Then he thinks, where did this log of wood come from? And he catches onto the log of wood. Then anyhow, he sits on it and then he floats across the ocean. He reaches some island. Similarly, this chance that has been given to us is like that log of wood in the infinite ocean of samsara. The ocean is endless, no source of help anywhere. But now this golden chance has come for us. So if we want to, we can make use of it, we can misuse it. Gurudev will say the same thing now. When you go to all the countries preaching, he would say, I brought a basket of jewels. I brought a huge basket of jewels. Whoever wants, they can take these jewels from me. And if they don't want, I'll just take these jewels back to Mathura. If I see that no one has agreed, then I'll just take it back. Why should I be so concerned? Who is taking these jewels around? No, so we must try our best, not lose this opportunity. So now Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, now I will explain the gradual development of bhakti, starting from Shraddha. It is to be understood clearly that as soon as the seed of faith is sown in the heart, immediately Bhakti Devi appears there. So Bhakti at this stage of Shraddha is very delicate, like a newborn baby girl. From the very time of her appearance in a devotee's heart, she has to be very carefully kept in a healthy condition. So if you see there's a newborn baby, you have to look after the baby. You have to make sure the baby, no mosquitoes bite that baby, or the baby doesn't become sick. You have a baby, imagine. You are a father, you know, the baby is born. You must look after the baby. Make sure the baby is healthy in all aspects. Similarly, Bhakti is like that. Bhakti is like a newborn baby girl. So if there's a newborn baby girl, you have to look after that baby in all ways. So Bhakti is also like that. When Shraddha is given, as soon as you have faith, means Bhakti is arising within your heart. Just as a householder protects his very tender baby daughter from the sun, from the cold, harmful creatures, hunger and thirst. Similarly, the Shraddha Devi means this goddess of faith. She is like a small girl and she must be protected from all kinds of inauspiciousness. Otherwise, the undesirable association of impersonal knowledge, jnana, fruitive activity, karma, mystic yoga, attachment to material objects, dry renunciation and so forth will not allow her to gradually blossom into Uttama Bhakti. And will instead make her grow into a different form. So you see, all these things can harm the baby. Means they can harm your faith, karma, jnana, mystic yoga, all these things. In other words, faith will not eventually develop into bhakti, but will merely assume the form of anarthas. So, but rather than having bhakti, only anarthas will increase. The danger of these remains until Shraddha Devi, this tender goddess of faith, becomes free from the influence of anarthas and transforms into nishtha, resolute determination. Now we are all at the stage of anishtita bhakti. Now, what is anishtita bhakti? There are 6 kinds of anishtita bhakti. First is called what? Yeah? Utsahamayi. Utsahamayi means one is very enthusiastic. One is like, I'll do everything in the temple. I'll do all the cooking, I'll do all the archan, I'll do all the kirtan, I'll do all the cleaning. I'll do everything. I'll chant 64 rounds, I'll do parikramana, I'll do everything I can. And he does this for like some time, and then after some time he loses all his enthusiasm. So I cannot do anything. No, I'll just sit in one place. Now like a small baby. When a baby is going to school, and the teacher catches hold of the baby's hand and makes him write A for apple, B for bat, C for cat, D for dog, E for elephant. In this way the teacher catches his hand and makes him write. And then the baby is and then the child is very enthusiastic. But the next day the teacher says, alright, now you'll have to write something more. Write a paragraph, a sentence, write a page. And then the baby starts crying, oh, I cannot do this. And the teacher gives him a slight slap. So, hey, useless, you don't know how to even write this. Then he goes back to school and he tells his mother, oh, I cannot go back to that school, oh, don't send me there, I'm suffering. So this is like that. So one is very enthusiastic, but as he has to advance and he becomes hopeless because of his anarthas. And the next is Kanat Tarola is like the last one. The next one is this Vishaya Sangha. That is Utsaha Mai. The next is Vishaya Sangha. Vishaya Sangha means there's so many desires for enjoyment in one's heart. Like sometimes if you see a beautiful lady, a beautiful woman, you say, oh, look at that lady, very beautiful. And many thoughts appear within your heart, saying, oh, I want to go speak to her. But if I go speak to her, then what will people say? It says something bad things about me. Maybe I'll go speak to her in private. Maybe if no one is there, I'll go speak to her. This way, that way. One wants to enjoy the objects of his senses. Not just like this, like you're walking down the street and you see something like someone selling some pizza or something and you want to eat. But then you're seeing someone might look at you and say, oh, look at him. Saffron Brahmachari sannyasi is eating from hotels. So what will people think? You know? So this is all these different desires are coming. Oh, let me drink some cold drink, some Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Red Bull. You know, let me just stand there and let me drink something. So this way, all these desires are appearing within his heart. And sometimes he is even overcome by these desires. He cannot even control himself. And sometimes he controls himself. Oh no, I should not do this, this is not good, this is bad. No, I should be careful. So this is called Vishaya Sangha. And then there's called Vyuda Vikalpa. Vyuda Vikalpa means sometimes he makes a promise. And I'll chant these many rounds every day. I'll chant 2 lakh Harinam, 128 rounds. And then he chants 128 rounds one day. But the next day he only chants 1 round. Or 2 rounds he chants. And one day he said, oh, I'll do Nirjala Ekadashi, I'll fast completely, no water, no food, nothing. But the next day Ekadashi he is sick the whole day. He cannot do anything. So this is called Vyuda Vikalpa. He cannot properly follow. And it's called Niyamak Shama. Niyamak Shama means what? He cannot follow his niyam, rules and regulations. Like there's some certain rules and regulations one should follow. No? So he becomes Aksham. Aksham means incapable. He says, oh, I cannot follow all these things, it's too much for me. And then there is Ghana Tarala. Ghana Tarala means, Ghana means condensed. And Taral means diluted. And sometimes he's like very fixed. Very condensed, I have to do this. The next day, Taral becomes very diluted. It means it becomes hopeless. And then there's Taranga Rangini. Taranga Rangini means these waves that appear on the ocean. No. What do? They drown one. Similarly, when one is practicing bhakti, he gets so much Labh Puja Pratishta. So much adoration, fame, gain, so many things, so many followers, respect, all these things. And sometimes he becomes so absorbed in that he loses himself. He loses himself in his followers, in that respect, everything that he even forgets to practice bhakti. So these are the 6 stages of Anishtita Bhakti, as described by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So if one wants to get to the stage of Nishtita Bhakti, then you have to give up all these forms of Anishtita, then come to the stage of Nishtita Bhakti. So this occurs from always by being nurtured by the affectionate mother of the association of genuine devotees, and from taking the medicine of bhajan. So here, a baby girl has to be looked after by a mother. No, a mother, she can look after the baby girl. Breastfeed this girl, feed this girl, clothe this girl. So who is that mother? The mother is Sadhu Sangha. So right now, this faith is like a small girl inside our hearts. And who can look after us? This mother. And who is this mother? Sadhu Sangha. And what is the medicine? Even medicine has to be given to infants, to babies. Now, small drops of medicine should be given. And what is that medicine? That medicine is bhajan. One's own bhajan by being in Sadhu Sangha. So once she has reached the stage of Nishtha, no anartha whatsoever can easily harm her. So you see here, once one achieves the stage of Nishtha, then he is strong. Therefore, Gurudev would tell everyone, at least try for the stage of Nishtha. Like once, Shanti Maharaj, he was telling me, he asked Gurudev once, saying, oh, what should I try for? I said, try for Nishtha in your life, this is enough. So we'll stop here, following at the feet of Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Gurupana Gaudiya Guruvanga, and Srila Gurudev. We will pray that we can also achieve this stage of Nishtha in our lives one day. So Bhakti-tattva-viveka ki jai, Bhaktivedanta Thakur ki jai, Srila Gurudev Paramadev Prabhupada Gaudiya Guruvanga ki jai, Taigo.